Hello, everybody. In our parsha, we are commanded, "V'yasita hayashar v'atov be'enei Hashem." You shall do that which is proper and good in the eyes of God. Leman yitav lach, in order that He do good for you. Uvatav yarashta et haaretz asher nishpa Hashem lavotecha. You will come and inherit and conquer the land that God had promised to your ancestors. The midrashic understanding of this imperative of Yasita Hayashar V'Hatov is to engage in compromise, in pshara, and to do things beyond the letter of the law, V'Yasita Lifnim Mishurat Hadin. And the reason for this midrashic understanding is based on the pasuk that immediately precedes ours, in which it says, Shamar tishmerun et mitzvot Hashem Elokeichem ve'edotav v'chukav asher tzivach. The preceding pasuk makes it clear that the binding mitzvot that Hashem has commanded us have to be observed. So what's added with the Asita Hayashar V'Atov, and hence the understanding of the Midrash. The Ramban, however, wants to understand what's the pshat of the pasuk beyond the Midrash. And he explains as follows, that one should keep God's mitzvot, and he should have in mind in so doing to do that which is right and good in the eyes of God, and only that. La'asot hatov hayashar, says the Ramban, bilvad. That's your motivation. And if you do that, then as the rest of the pasuk says, leman yitavlach, comes the divine promise that God will do good for us. It seems that the Ramban is implying that you should not understand the pasuk, leman yitavlach, do that which is right and good in God's eyes, in order that He do good for you. And if it's implied by the Ramban rather strongly, it's explicitly stated by Rav David Tzvi Hoffman, where he says, Ein lefaresh, do not understand the pasuk as meaning shetehei kavanata oseh leman, that the intent of the person who does God's will is in order to receive reward. Ella hatotza'ah hikach. All the Torah is saying when it tells us leman yitavlach is that that's what will happen, but that's not your motivation in doing the mitzvot. The problem with this is that the simplistic meaning of the pasuk, if we want to talk pshat, leman means in order that. And so I saw something rather interesting in the Malbim. The Malbim, based on a famous teaching of Chazal, Ratzah HaKadosh Baruch Hu lezakot et Yisrael, God wanted to magnify the amount of zchuyot, of merits of Am Yisrael, lefichach hirba lahem Torah u'mitzvot. In order to do that, He gave us an abundance of Torah and mitzvot to fulfill. And as well, Chazal teach us sechar mitzvah, mitzvah. The reward of a mitzvah is the opportunity to do yet another mitzvah. How are we to understand this? So the Malbim explains that we should always be thinking of God as the entity who wants to shower us with gemilas chesed on His part, and to really give us all of the wonderful things and the goodness that He has to offer. If I can quote Him directly, because I don't think I would have the audacity to say this on my own. Hatam harashi shetziva Hashem otanu al ha-mitzvot. The main reason that God gives us the mitzvot, including the ones that we otherwise perhaps don't understand, hu rak mitzad, it is simply because Shahashem barat ha'olam, that God created the world, ba'asher hu rotzeh la'asot tov v'chesed, because it's his will to show compassion, kindness, and goodness to his creations. So indeed, the Malbim is telling us that when we do the mitzvot, v'yasita hayashar v'hatov be'nei Hashem Elokecha, we should think of the goodness that God will bestow upon us, but not in the conventional sense. The conventional sense is, I'm doing the mitzvah because I want to get the reward, the goodness from Hashem. Says the Malbim, no, think about the goodness of Hashem, but not from the perspective of myself as the recipient, the makabel, but rather when I do the mitzvah, think about the fact that what I'm doing in fulfilling the mitzvah is actually fulfilling the ultimate will of God, which is to bestow us with kindness, to shower us, to be mashpia upon us all of the goodness, not from our perspective, but from God's perspective. And indeed, I think that helps us to be able to relate to HaKadosh Baruch Hu as the loving creator and father and king who wants to do good with his subjects. Shabbat Shalom u'mevorach.